Hello to all of you watching at home. I'm your host, Alec McEwen, on your favourite daytime TV magazine show, Time Tunnel TV. Today, you guys are in luck, as we have one of the greatest technologists, businessmen and philanthropists in the world, the one and only Mr. Bill Gates, who is here to give us an exclusive interview of him and his early life when finding his way into the realm of technology. But before we get into our interviews, we have a performance by Toby Gordon, performing his cover of Shine Down, Simple Man. Take it away, Toby.
Mama told me when I was young, oh, sit beside me, my only son. Oh, listen carefully to what I say, and it'll help you some sunny day. Take your time, don't live too fast. Trouble will come and they will pass. You'll find a woman and you'll find love, and don't forget there is someone. Oh, and be simple. Got a man to be something you love and understand. And be simple. Got a man. Won't you do this if you can? Don't set your sights on rich man's gold. It's in your soul. Oh, you can do this if you try. And be satisfied and be simple. Got a man to be something you love and understand. Baby, be simple. Got a man. Be something if you can.
What an epic performance. Thanks, Toby. Now, for all who are not completely aware of who Bill Gates really is, here's a documentary giving you some knowledge of who this genius is.
Who is Bill Gates to you?
Bill Gates is a very influential man to many people's eyes. He's the one who founded Microsoft and instigated the whole Xbox project.
In your opinion, do you prefer Apple or Microsoft, and why?
In my personal opinion, Apple, because I would want to buy something that looks pretty as well as perform good, and Microsoft really do focus on the software rather than the hardware.
Where do you see Microsoft going in the future?
In the future, well, Microsoft do own MSN Messenger. I feel like it's not been doing good in terms of Facebook and Twitter going up in the ranks. So I feel like they'll invest in a social networking platform earlier on in the future.
Thank you, Peter.
This documentary is all about one of the greatest businessmen of the century, Bill Gates. Bill Gates was born on October the 28th, 1955, and was nicknamed Trey due to him being William Gates III. When Bill grew up, he became one of the richest and most brilliant minds of the century. Gates is a technologist, business leader, and philanthropist. He grew up in Seattle, Washington with his loving family, and in 1967, at the age of 12, Gates enrolled at Lakeside School, and it was there where many believed he started off his interesting career in technology after he used his first computer. Shortly after using his first computer, in 1968, he began programming with his childhood friend Paul Allen, who he stayed in contact with and eventually got into business with in later life. In 1973, Gates entered Harvard University, but despite the fact he got into this university, he didn't have a definite study plan. Instead, he spent a lot of time using their computers. The following year saw the release of the MIT's Altair 8800 based on the Intel 8080 CPU, and Gates and Allen saw this as an opportunity to start their own computer software company. It was after this that Gates dropped out of Harvard. Gates and his friend, Allen, read the January 1975 issue of Popular Electronics that showed the Altair 8800 computer. Gates saw this as a window to contact the creators, MITS, which stands for Micro Instrumentation and Telemetry Systems, to inform them that he and the others were working on a basic interpreter for the platform, despite the fact that he didn't have an Altair and hadn't written a code for it. They just wanted to grab the attention of MITS. MITS president, Ed Roberts, agreed to meet them for a demonstration, and after this successful demonstration, MITS agreed a deal with Gates and Allen to distribute the interpreter as Altair Basic. Allen was hired for MITS and Gates went to work alongside him. They named their partnership Micro-Soft, and within a year the hyphen was dropped, and on November the 26th, 1976, the trade name Microsoft was registered with the Office of Secretary of the State of New Mexico. Gates actually worked on the Macintosh project alongside Apple and even praised Apple for stating that they have what it takes to create an entirely new standard.
Well, to create a new standard, it takes something that's not just a little bit different. It takes something that's really new and really captures people's imagination. And the Macintosh, of all the machines I've ever seen, is the only one that meets that standard.
However, despite Gates having somewhat friendly rivalry with Apple's Steve Jobs, Steve got fired from Apple. Gates fundamentally supported Apple while Steve was absent when facing bankruptcy. However, despite the fact that Gates did this, Jobs still ripped to Microsoft with statements like, "They have no taste."
The only problem with Microsoft is they just have no taste. They have absolutely no taste, and what that means is, I don't mean that in a small way, I mean that in a big way.
In June 2006, Gates announced that he would be transitioning from full-time work at Microsoft to part-time work and full-time work at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is a charity set up by Gates and his wife that help four main programs: global health, global development, US program, and global policy and advocacy. To this day, Gates remains as the Forbes list of the world's wealthiest people, having a net worth of $82.3 billion American dollars, and as of November 2014, and has continued to do his bit for charity he founded. What is to become of Gates and Microsoft in the future? Maybe more operating systems? More game consoles, more competition, or will Gates retire completely?
Wow, there were some things there that even I didn't know. And without further ado, please welcome onto the show Mr. Bill Gates.
Hi, folks. Hi, folks.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for coming on the
It's
show.
good to meet you, man.
You too.
Good.
Okay.
How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm okay.
So
I just
first
got
off-
in from, as you know, Albuquerque. This has been quite a heavy plane ride, but it's good to be here in, where are we?
We're in Stockport.
Stockport, where the hell's Stockport?
Stockport, England.
I know it's England, man.
Little
but, you know,
redneck town near
It's
Manchester.
Manchester, Joy Division.
Joy
You got
Division,
it,
exactly.
Yeah. I know,
you've
we're
got
a
it.
bunch of guys, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You order?
Yeah.
Yeah, great place, yeah. I shouldn't say Gunchester, should I? That's not,
No,
that's not
no, that's,
politically okay anymore, is it?
No.
now? That's
no.
what I remember. it
We'll
for.
leave that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, yeah.
more about you.
Yep.
First of all, you know, you are world renowned as the creator of Microsoft.
I thought you were going
which
to say
is-
the richest man in
We'll-
America.
We'll get to that.
Okay, all right.
As the creator of Microsoft. Now,
Yeah.
Microsoft is, from my perspective and from most other people's, like a household necessity. Everyone knows what it is.
That's right.
Or they have it in the home.
Yeah.
How does that feel? To
Oh, it's fantastic. We've got one of our products in probably everybody's home in the world, you know, in Asia, East Asia, everywhere, you know. I mean, everybody, we infiltrated them. That was our game plan right from the beginning, to infiltrate everybody's home. Yeah, nothing sinister, of course, unless you want to think that.
no,
You know? But yeah, we've done really well. I don't think it speaks for itself, doesn't it? Yeah.
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 I see. Now, when did you first get into electronics? When did you know that this is what I want to do?
Oh, that was my dad. My dad was always building things, little transistor radios and all kinds of things like that. For a while, it bored the crap out of me, but then I began to play with something early on, and I realized you could make things light up and you could communicate. And my friends were used to build them for each other's house, and we got little transistor radios, and we were able to communicate and things. And you know those little science sets that you get for Christmas where you build something and blow something up?
Yeah.
That was really what I enjoyed. We used to blow a lot of things up when I was a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't now. I mean, there's no connection with bombing or terrorism or anything like that. But you know, yeah.
Good. I didn't think
Made that clear.
Let me just have a look at these. Is it true that you put yourself into a class full of girls when you were younger?
Oh, absolutely. You know, when you're so good looking as me, well, let's face it,
So you were
no,
hit
I'm not
with
that good looking, no. But the more money you get, the better looking you get. You know?
Yeah, well,
It's true,
naturally.
isn't it? Yeah. So, I mean, look at the guy. You know, I look like Kermit out of the Muppets, but you know, that doesn't matter when you earn as much money as I got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you study when you entered Harvard University?
Well, I was supposed to study mathematics and all those things, and that did come in handy. That, you know, that really is important to study maths, yeah, wherever the camera is, yeah. But I mainly built computers. I started building and putting things together. I was in a lot of trouble because I was never in the maths sessions, you know, and it was applying it, and that to me is what the real thing is. Don't just study maths, apply it, make something with it, you know. It's not just the money, it's the creativity of making it. So we made these little computers, the data processors and whatever, and we did pretty good with it. But looking back, you know, these were like really, really small things, you know. But we've gone on a long way. So I made computers, got in a lot of trouble, but hey, it paid off, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What inspired you to create Microsoft?
Microsoft, well, initially I saw the potential that in the world and the internet was starting very crudely to take off, but I could see that people needed something that was simple. Computers were going to be a part of the future, you know. People were saying that'll never happen, but you could just see it. It was in science fiction books, you know, the people were talking about it, and I used to love science fiction, you know, movies and books and Asimov and all that, and I thought, you've got to make something, give people something that they can use in their homes, they can process data with, they can find information out about, and they can really, really enjoy as well, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what we did, and we just took off, and I just put all of that into that. And Microsoft was our baby, you know. It was early days, but I think we made some great advances.
When you first started out, did you think it would get as far as it did?
I always hoped so, yeah. I mean, being an American, you know, and coming from the area I do, you know, the idea is to make a success of yourself, you know. There are no failures, you know. You fail is only on the pathway to success. So I always thought, yeah, we can do something with this, you know, because nobody else was doing it. Until, of course, you know, Macintosh came along, you know.
Yeah. We'll talk about that a bit
Oh,
later.
yeah. Well, they talk a lot about me, don't they?
Yeah. Before we get to that, what inspired you to create the name Microsoft?
Look at that. Look. Microsoft.
What inspired the name?
Always makes me feel good every time I see it now.
Yeah.
It ain't just cash and dollar signs. It's actually the word. It's beautifully designed. You know, Macintosh said we have no taste. We have no style. I mean, look at that. That's good. It's curved. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good, isn't it? See, we have a curve in it. Yeah. It's good.
Okay. Let's move on to Apple and Macintosh. First of all, can you talk about your relationship with Steve Jobs at all?
Steve, well, I mean, let God bless him. The guy's gone now, you know. So, I don't know. It's like he said some pretty nasty things about me when we were younger, and I said some pretty equally nasty things about him when I was younger too. We ended up being quite good friends in the end. But I mean, in the early days, it was tough, you know, because I remember one great thing he said on TV is that we had no taste whatsoever. And it was right up there at the top of, and it wasn't just a little bit bad taste, it was real bad taste. And I can see what he means now, because they were a lot about style and design, weren't they? You know, they look cool, they look cool. We were PC based, you know, and there wasn't a lot of aesthetic qualities in there, but we sold a lot more than them.
Yeah, so obviously, coming on to the next thing, you know, the contest between Mac and PC. How did you feel that would end up? Did you feel that Mac would come in and overtake your business, or?
Well, you know, Steve was his own worst enemy, and I never doubted for a second that in the end they'd kick him out. You know, the way the guy ran his business is like, you do it my way or it's the highway. And in the end, his own investors voted to get rid of him, yeah? Now, yeah, he was good, but he needed to chill out, you know? We all both went through the 60s together. You know, it's no secret that we both smoked dope and, you know, pot together. You know, it was the 60s, Woodstock and everything, you know? And Steve, he didn't seem to have any fun in the 60s. He was just, oh, no, you know, build things, cool, you know? Whereas I chilled out, made a lot of money, and had a good time.
Okay, one last question before an advert break.
Gee, you have a lot of questions, don't you?
Okay, in fact, I'm just going to have to stop you there because we're going to go to a break now.
It's all about time.
Yeah, so we're going to have to stop you there for an advert break, but join us after where we will ask Bill a few more questions and stay tuned for the news and another performance by the one and only Toby Gordon. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, okay.
Welcome back. Before the break, we asked Bill a few questions, and now we have a few more for him. So, Bill, before we were just speaking about Apple, we'll just pick up where we left off there.
Oh, yeah.
After Steve Jobs got fired from Apple,
Yeah.
where did that leave you as a company?
Well, yeah, I mean, I remember the party. It was really good. I mean, that lasted about 4 days, that party, you know. There was champagne, and my God, there was a lot of other stuff going on there. But, I mean, the main thing was that the guy had gone. And as I said to you, he was his own worst enemy. So by that time, he'd gone. And we just figured, well, those guys are off the scene, you know, because they were basically substandard. You know, I've said it before, I'll say it always to the day I die, Macintosh was substandard. Yeah, everybody says PCs crash, Macs don't, you know. But at the end of the day, we're the workhorse of the world, you know. Our systems work. So I was glad to see him go. It ain't no secret about that. And our company began to, country, that's a slip, isn't it? Yeah, we kind of like powerhouse of America, aren't we? You know, we drive that country, you know, Microsoft. So yeah, I reckon probably at that time I was thinking they should elect me president as well, you know, because I'm a pretty cool guy. I know about business, and and people like me. Steve, people didn't like him. God bless him.
Fair enough. After Steve was out the picture, what was the next big thing for Microsoft?
Well, the horizon, it was like clear blue sky thinking, you know. So we started thinking, what can we do? And of course, we developed the Windows system again and again, and we always had that really good trick. What you do is you launch it, you know it ain't ready, you know it's got bugs in it, and you put it out there, and because it's the only one in the system out there in the world, you let the users find the bugs. And then they can complain about it for 6 months. We find out what the bugs are. We iron them out, and we've got a pretty good system then, yeah? So we let the users do all the real work, you know?
Yeah. Obviously, Microsoft, most well-known for the PC and what they've done, but over the last 15 years or so, they've ventured out.
We have, yeah.
Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is games, obviously. You know, we broke into the games console world, and people were pretty surprised when I did that. But I always loved games, you know, I loved them. And of course, with PlayStation and Sony making such a big deal. I mean, Christ, you know, my kids are in my own house playing Sony products, you know, all day. I come home, and there's Sony, PlayStation 2, Ratchet and Clank, you know, God knows how many times I've had to play that damn game. And I'm not playing my own products, you know. So we got together and we thought, it's about time we got in there and started showing them who the boss was, really. So, of course, we came out with a pretty cool-looking machine. And Steve, if you're listening, this one had taste, it had style, and it looked a bit like Darth Vader, didn't it? Let's face it, you know. It was Star Wars reinvented, wasn't it? And, of course, we kicked their ass with that one as well, didn't we? So we came out with some great titles, you know, and Halo and all that stuff, and we started running the world again, you know, and we've got games now. Right?
Battling on all fronts of technology, really, aren't they, Microsoft? You've got-
Absolutely, yeah. You know, I mean, I've always wanted to dominate the world. There's no doubt about that. There's no secret about that, you know.
Yeah.
You can see it in me. You know, small guys who are nerdy when they're young, they really want to take over things, you know. I mean, yeah, look at Germany. Yeah. Cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're going to talk a little less about world domination and
Yeah.
neo-Nazism. Why did Microsoft choose to invent the Windows Phone as well? Is that a similar sort of reason?
Yeah, sure. I mean, phones, you know, to be honest with you, I'll tell you a little truth here. I can't stand mobile phones, you know. Yeah, I was born around about 1950, yeah, fuzzied a bit, middle of the 20th century. We didn't have phones like that. We didn't have any of this stuff, you know. In fact, we didn't have computers, did we? But the phone, I think, is one of the most intrusive things in the world, even though, yeah, everybody has to have one. But we figured in the end we'll give into it, you know. And so we thought what we need to do is take our system and put it in there and try and make a better phone for people, you know, that was more interesting. So it wasn't... Yeah, we gave into financial markets, but at the same time, I was trying to give them a better product in the world, yeah? So I thought it was a good thing, putting the system in there.
Obviously, like, with the phones, you know, at the moment, everyone's talking about the iPhone or...
Pretty good-looking guy, yeah.
Don't disagree.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about the iPhone or the Samsung at the moment. Is that something that Microsoft will be aiming to overtake? Is that a market you'll be aiming...
Well, yeah, I mean, we
towards.
always do in the end, don't we?
Yeah.
You know, it's just like we just spread and spread and spread. We buy companies up, we buy them out, we put, no, I nearly said we put pressure on them, but I'm joking, you know. And we buy them and we consume, and then we become dominant. And that's pretty much the way we've always gone about our business plan, is take over, take over, take over. And yeah, of course, we'll be kings of the world.
Okay, you did mention this very briefly right at the start of the show.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone watching today is keen to hear about your salary.
My salary?
Can you give me a sort of bracket?
I think it's pretty common knowledge out there, isn't it? If you took every dollar bill that I've earned over the years, and it's probably in my bank account right now, and you stacked them one on top of the other, and just kept on doing it, first of all, whoever's doing it will be there for about 10 years. But you keep going, and it would reach from the Earth to the moon. Just imagine that, yeah? And if you fell off the top of it, from there, it would take you about 4 days to hit the ground. That's kind of like how much I earn, you know. And that's pretty good. That's a good feeling.
Okay.
How much do you earn?
How much do I earn?
Yeah.
Nothing like that.
No, I know. I know. I just enjoy asking people that.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
great, yeah.
Well, how do you spend that kind of money?
Spend it. I don't have to. You go into a restaurant and people just say, hey, it's Bill Gates. Everything's free.
Okay. Thank you very much for that.
I'll see you again then. Yeah,
Thank you.
okay. You want a job anytime? You can have one.
Thanks once again to Mr. Gates
Okay.
for this exclusive interview. And now over to the news back in 1975 with some massive yet interesting stories.
Hello and good evening. Our main story tonight is the new generation of technology as we know it, with Bill Gates and Paul Allen making history and creating the company Microsoft. In 1972, Gates and Allen founded their first company and went by the name of TAF Data, that merely offered a rudimentary computer that tracked and analyzed automobile traffic data. Since they have only progressed with their electronic expertise, Gates and Allen both saw the January 1975 issue of Popular Electronics that featured micro-instrumentation of temerary systems, otherwise known as MITS, and an Autofair 800 microcomputer. This inspired both Gates and Allen to go ahead in their own career and start off Microsoft. We now go live to the scene, New Mexico, Microsoft HQ, where Connor has more on the story.
I'm Connor Ormiston, reporting live from Albuquerque, New Mexico, at the official Microsoft headquarters, officially established in April 4th, 1975. Get that date down in the history books because it's going to go far. It was founded by two men, Bill Gates and Paul Allen. However, Gates is the CEO of the company. They taught relentlessly until Allen came up with the company name Microsoft. He got it from combining two electronic products together, a microprocessor and software, inventing Microsoft. I was able to get an exclusive interview with an official spokesman of Microsoft who shed some light onto what and where this company is planning to go. They plan to release an all-new microcomputer, the Altair Basic version 2.0 in 2K and 8K editions. The company wants to continue progressing with even bigger, better, faster and intelligent software and hardware, as well as even mentioning expanding and branching into other markets, which are yet to be confirmed. No more information was given to us by their spokesman. What is to come from Microsoft, we all wonder? I suppose we will all find out. I'm Connor Ormiston, reporting live and on scene from Microsoft headquarters, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Connor. Interesting news on Microsoft. In other news, doctors going on strike. Doctors took industrial action when consultants and junior doctors decided to withdraw non-emergency services, and doctors were called to Downing Street to talk with the Prime Minister, Harold Wilson. In the reasons that doctors took action was to rule and suspend all goodwill activities between January and April in protest against brand new protested contracts which they said would force doctors and consultants to abandon private practice. However, the action was called off when Social Services Minister Barbara Castle said that the consultants chose to do part-time NHS contracts would continue to do private practice. But even after this, later on this year, doctors once again battled with Mrs. Castle over plans to take out private work within the NHS. Doctors decided to take their chances in industrial action over to pay constructions and new junior contracts. Doctors were advised to keep a 40-hour and keep...
It's not on the auto cue.
Everything's cool, ain't it? Things go wrong sometimes. Yeah?
The death...
So what do you think?
Okay, that's all we have time for on the show. Thanks for that. We're now going to go live for one last performance from Toby.
Cool, yeah.
Rain is falling, night is calling. Is the reason why it has to go down like this. The car's stalling, standing tall in. The closure's here, but the bitterness ain't far behind. The pain's appalling, this is not it. You can't hide your feelings on a microphone. Oh, stop it, you made me drop it. This passion ain't just a switch, I can't turn it off. Drowning in your games, all the chemicals burn and I struggle just to find my sacred place. 'Cause I want you so bad and I'm trying to get you in my secret space. While the memories fade as they disappear, gone without a trace, gone without a trace. Follow's calling, hope it's falling. Cynicism is a hard thing to ignore. I hear you creeping while I think sleeping. As you descend and evaporate through the blood. Too many secrets, concealed feelings. See, my soul's got a lot left to explore. My stand is weeping, this passion's bleeding. I told you this ain't a switch and I can turn it on. Told you this ain't a switch and I can turn it on.